Welcome back. The most important issues for Democratic voters in the 2020 election are shaping up to be two big ones: health care and climate change. According to our latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, health care and climate change outpaced everything, including jobs, national security, and immigration, among Democrats as the top issue. And folks, the 2020 race is potentially the first election with climate change front and center in the minds of Democratic voters. Just take a look at these numbers. 39% of Democrats say they consider climate change a top 1 or 2 issue. That is actually up 16 points from this time 4 years ago. But that high level of climate change concern has not yet translated into similar poll numbers for the one candidate running on climate change. That's Washington Governor Jay Inslee. His entire campaign is centered around dealing with the climate change issue. The latest national poll numbers have Governor Inslee floating around the 1% mark in the Democratic field. So joining me now is the governor of Washington State, the man who is putting climate change front and center of his campaign, Governor Inslee. Governor Inslee, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for your coverage of this issue.
Well, let me get at this sort of conundrum for you. On one hand, you're on the second most important issue to Democratic voters after health care. You're the one candidate centering on this. But I'm wondering, because everybody in the field basically agrees with what to do, and there's some differences around the margins, and you have the most detailed plan, I grant you that. Has it been harder for you to stand out and get voters to say, oh, he's the climate change guy?
No, I think we're making a point in this. I was in Los Angeles rolling out our plan Friday. I'm the only candidate to date to make it clear that we're going to transition off of coal in 2030. Yes, we had Eric Garcetti, mayor, with us. He's done fantastic work. Jerry Brown said some nice things about my plan. I appreciate. No, I think there's a couple of uniqueness about my position. One, I'm really the only candidate that on day one said that I'm going to make this the #1 job of my administration. And look, if this is not job one, it will not get done. You've been around the bush, Chuck. You know that this takes enormous political capital, and I'm willing to do that. Number two, I've got a literally multi-decadal effort on this. I'm the only candidate who's written a book on it, and formed the U.S. Climate Alliance, and now the only candidate to date to make a clear commitment on getting off of coal as one of our principles. And today, the third thing is, I'm the only candidate to actually get something done on this, because today, in about a couple hours, I'm signing the best 100% clean energy bill for the electrical grid and the strongest energy policies in buildings in the country. So I think that's a trifecta. I feel good about that. There's a lot of talent in the field. I've already identified 18 potential vice presidents, but I'm pretty unique in this regard.
Tell me this. You're going to go to West Virginia and campaign on shutting down coal plants in 10 years. You're going to go to Southwest Virginia and do this. You're going to go to parts of Kentucky. I'm sure you will, to make your point. What are you going to tell those folks?
Well, I'm going to listen to those folks. Look, these are dedicated, hardworking Americans. They and their ancestors, through multiple generations, built the industrial might based on coal of the United States. They helped us win 2 world wars, and they deserve a president who won't lie to them and will listen to them. And they have a president who is continually lying to them, because right now we know that we are transitioning off coal. It's down from 48% to about 28%. About half to 2/3 of the coal plants have already closed. And they need to be told the truth, which is we're going to have a transition. But I want to listen to them about how they want us to structure a transition plan to help those families in their communities. Just
so you
like
don't have a plan. Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea of what a transition plan would look like? Give me an idea.
Well, an idea is to do just what we're doing in Washington. So we are closing our last coal-fired plant. It's in a town called Centralia, Washington. And when we made a decision to wean ourselves off coal, we just didn't shut that off lickety split. We developed a transition plan. It involves a $55 million fund to protect workers, to make sure they can retire in dignity if they are at that age, to make sure that they can get a good training and education, and not just training. Training is not enough. You got to have a job. So our plan helps develop small businesses to create jobs in that community and to help that community's infrastructure. And it's working really well. We're actually considering a possibility of transitioning actually to a solar plant. That's not a done deal yet. But when you do provide that transition, these families and these communities need this no matter what, because frankly, coal is dying because renewable fuel is now more or less costly. And just the other day, for the first time in American history, we produced more electricity through renewable energy than coal. This is the future. It's time to seize the future.
You know, we have made a big deal of the fact that climate change has surpassed all these other issues as the number 2 issue. But there is a number 1 issue, and it's number 1 with a bullet, if you will, 20 points higher than climate change. It's health care. And it does seem as if Democrats do have to make a decision when they think about you as a candidate versus somebody else. You have said, day one, it's climate change. There are other candidates who say, day one, it's Obamacare. What do you tell the voter who says, look, I'm worried about climate change, but right now this health care mess has to be fixed first? How do you convince that voter to go with you?
Well, listen, there are not enough doctors and nurses on the planet Earth to protect our health if we don't solve climate change. This is a healthcare issue first and foremost. You know, there's about 10,000 plus more people die of air pollution today, even before the climate changes, because we're breathing just of the smoke coming out of our tailpipes, than die in car crashes today. Lyme disease, I met a couple whose daughter had to drop out in New Hampshire because of Lyme disease. This is a healthcare issue. And the thing about climate change is it's not a single issue. It is all the issues. It's health care. It's national security, where we're already seeing climate refugees on our southern border. It is an economic issue. Somebody asked me the other day, you know, how are you going to pay for this? And I asked them, how are you going to pay for Paradise, California that burned to the ground? Mm-hmm. How are you going to pay for the utilities that have gone bankrupt because of the massive fires in California and the floods today in Iowa? This is an economic, a health, a national security measure, and it's a measure about a can-do country that needs a can-do president, and I'm really take on that job.
Let me ask you about one other issue that might put you on the wrong side of most of your Democratic colleagues, and that's the issue of trade. As somebody from a coastal state, not surprising to me that you were among the Democrats that voted for NAFTA back in the 90s, that supported NAFTA. A lot of Democrats that touched the Pacific Ocean or touched the Atlantic Ocean had ports of entry did. Where are you on the new NAFTA? How would you vote on that today? And are you in step with your party on trade, or do you think you're a little out of step, or vice versa?
No, I think I'm really in step, because we need trade policies that foster job growth, make sure that that collective bargaining rights are protected, and make sure that our environmental laws are followed. And I do not trust Donald Trump for 2 inches to actually negotiate an agreement that can actually do that. So I have not read this. This has not been finalized. Right. But I would not be supportive unless, in fact, it really does protect our environmental.
Did you think was your NAFTA laws. Do you believe NAFTA was a success or a failure?
I think there are mixed results. Some jobs it helped, some jobs it did not.
Would you cast the same vote?
Probably not today, because we've learned some things about the ability to protect our environmental laws from that. But I believe the first thing we need to do is to get rid of the chaos in chief of a guy who has now shut down the agricultural economy in the Midwest. Look, I saw bins. The farmers couldn't sell their grain because of his crazy trade wars. And then the floods came and washed away their silos when I was in Hamburg, Iowa. They're getting it from both ways from Donald Trump. We need somebody to bring a rationality to these proposals, and I think I can do that.
Governor Jay Inslee, I have to leave it there. It was good to go deep with you on a couple of issues. I appreciate your time on this.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.